Watch what's approaching, the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
What's good, and happy Friday, everyone. I think everybody has been looking forward to the weekend, probably with all the stuff going on right now. But, as part of starting things off, I did run kind of a questionnaire yesterday asking about the stuff related to the link skill levels because pretty much at this point, Global has been confirmed to be getting the link skill update before the actual start of the 350 million download celebration, which is obviously a very, very good thing. I personally believe the leveling up of link skills and updates to the boost in stats is a very good thing, and it kind of switches things up a little bit. So it's a very, very good thing implemented. And of course, with that being said, I kind of asked the question, who's the first unit that he planned on grinding the link skill levels for global players, and for JP, who pretty much was the first unit he worked on. So I kind of want to spend time just running through the tweets and responses and just kind of figure out what exactly you guys were going through in your head. And if you didn't see the tweet and you're watching this video, certainly leave comments about which unit you either planned on grinding first, or the first one you actually worked on if you're on JP already. And just kind of give me reasonings as to why that is. So with that being said, let's go ahead and run through the list. And I don't know if I'll be able to cover every single one of these, but I definitely do want to cover as much as I can. Alright, so starting off, Alec Hunter said, my first skill level grind will likely be a full free-to-play team. Very curious about how much these new skills will impact free-to-play units, which is a very, very good point. I think it's probably a good way to, I kind of made the mistake of just diving right in and leveling up without really thinking about it from a methodical standpoint of how much of a difference it actually makes. But for free-to-play type player base, I think it's a very, very unique way to look at it and how much of an impact some of the free-to-play units have. Because at the end of the day, the free-to-play, being able to acquire units from a free-to-play basis is certainly the best way to go about it. If they can be even stronger, the better. So, yeah, very good point. Global player here, and I'm going to do a mixture of Last Resort and Transformation Boost. That's Xavier. And that's a very good point as well. I mean, the first ones I personally worked on were off of the Transformation Boost and Conquest of Terror. A lot of my favorite units do fall into that, so that's pretty much along those lines. Last Resort obviously has a lot of good units as well. Looks like this guy, Pira, Global, I'll be focusing on the fusions and some supports like Kid Buu, JP where I have Cooler, I've been grinding him as well, LR Tech Broly and the Indigo Tanks, and some other Transformation Boost units. I gotta go ahead and tell you, LR Tech Broly is one of the first ones I worked on, as well as Kid Buu and some various supports. I think it's also good to consider that, because having that extra boost with the supporting units, like along with Kid Buu, like Turles and amongst others, even Topo's a good example of this, but having those supporters become better, especially from a defensive standpoint, is going to help quite a bit in terms of the rotation, that actually have legitimate reasonings as to why to include them on a team. So that's very, very good point. And let me tell you, the LR Tech Broly is pretty phenomenal with max level links. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty obvious. The grind itself is pretty rigorous, but it's very well worth it. And by the way, I think people are going to ask, so let me just go ahead and clear the way here. The best places to grind, as far as I know, is, from my understanding, the stage 3 of the Raditz story event for the lower link levels, and then once you start getting level 5 plus, you probably want to switch over to quest 23.8. I've been pretty much grinding through 23.8 as of late. I initially started doing it off of the Raditz story event, but once I started getting a mixture between units with low levels and high levels, I kind of just made it consistent and went through 23.8. So that's pretty much my format and my approach. Of course, the LR Blue fusions are very, very popular, so I expect that to be a lot of the answers here. Team Gohan certainly answered it that way. Ryan says Kamehameha units. Certainly Kamehameha units or category have a lot of good units that you definitely want to work on, like the LR AGL Gohan, and even that category has like various other units, like the physical Vegeta Blue with the amazing EZA and stuff like that. So Movie bosses, Aaron says movie bosses, then second, probably Super Saiyan 3 or 2. Certainly not a bad choice. Blue Gogeta, Physical Vegito Blue, LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Strength Kefla. Those all pretty much make sense to me as well. And finally, Daiko with a shout out to Strength Cooler. That is the first one that I once I found out about the leveling up for links, that's pretty much the first one I had in mind. I was like, this is the first one I have to max out. Cyberman number 2, that'd be pretty interesting. Let me know how that goes. Yeah, I definitely would be curious on that one. Let's see. Kyle says, gonna go through my units and level the guys with the shittiest links to start. Yeah, I mean, that's certainly a good way to approach it. The ones that are struggling with the current link setups, with the updates, they do get improvement. So that's certainly a different outlook and different way to look at it. Of course, blue fusions are quite popular. That's pretty much expected. Physical Vegito Blue, obviously, as well. Last Resort is certainly a very popular category at this point, and yeah, I can certainly see that. Wicked Bloodline, definitely shout out with the Strength Cooler. I'm actually going through the Wicked Bloodline category right now with various units, and along with Conquest of Terror and Transformation Boost, Wicked Bloodline is certainly one of the favorites out of the categories available. Cooler first, and Gotenks, looks like LR Kamehameha team, makes sense as well. Honestly, I don't know who I'm going to go for first. Probably going to grind my Super Saiyan team or something. Maybe I'll do Ginyu Force after getting them all to link level 5 or 6. Those are things to consider, right? I think at first it's going to be a little bit overwhelming. So, my best advice, honestly, yes, you should certainly work on units that are considered one of the most powerful in the game. But at the end of the day, I kind of went with the approach where I just wanted to get the max level links for units I personally love, and that's pretty much the approach I went with it. And with that being said, some of the units are considered amongst the powerful units in the game, but at the end of the day, I think it just comes down to like what you want to do. Either way, this is something that's going to take substantial amount of time, so you don't need to rush it and burn out. Avoid burnouts as much as possible, because it will feel like that at some point. Like level 8 through 10, it can be quite tedious because it's not even guaranteed when that's going to happen, and it does take a pretty long amount of time. Alright, V looks like said Vegito Blue, both of them, physical and tech. It would have been in Kid Goku, but I don't have him. Yeah, I'm actually quite curious about the Kid Goku as well. I think there's a lot of opportunities to find out, how good that unit is with the updates. Tech Trunks, AGL Zamasu, that makes sense as well. Of course, Kamehameha team's quite popular. Gohan and Physical Vegito Blue. I think the standard, go-to guy would be like the LR Fusions and the Physical Vegito Blue. Tech Vegito Blue is quite interesting as well. I'm actually working on that unit as we speak. LR Gogeta, since I've been rocking with the Fusion team for a long time, hey, makes sense. You do what you want to do, and that's certainly the best way to go about it. Working on Last Resort, JD says, plus Strength Cooler and Physical Vegito Blue. Again, the LR Blue Fusions are quite popular. LR UI Goku is definitely one to that's actually quite interesting to see, how that is. I'd have to take a look at the link sets, but some of the units do with the update. They do have like an extra boost where you get like a 5% evasion rate and stuff like that built in. I forgot which exact link skill that is, but it's quite interesting because the traditional links with just key boosting will also have like an attack and defense increase by 5% and stuff like that. So every little bit counts, and it's interesting how it really does switch up the team building a little bit. It looks like I see LR Gohan Goten. That's actually pretty interesting. That's yeah. Let me know how that one goes. That's pretty cool actually. AGL Blue Gogeta and Movie Heroes. Yeah, Blue Gogeta makes sense. LR Gogeta again, Blue Fusion again. LR Gogeta and LR Vegeta. I'm guessing this is. I don't know if this is the 5-year anniversary units or you're referring to the 3-year anniversary transformation units, but either way, those are highly anticipated or interesting units to test out with the link level upgrades. LR AGL Gohan, LR UI Goku, main priorities, and then what is that? Tech Gohan, since he is broken. Yeah, Tech Gohan is pretty ridiculous. I think Nolar most recently did a max level link with the tech Gohan, it'd be quite interesting to see how powerful that unit is, along with already being quote-unquote broken as a standalone unit without that extra boost. Easy A physical Vegito Blue. I'm guessing that's what he's referring to there. Looks like Cookie, what's the best level to stop at except level 10? And since I'm a global player, I might grind the links for my LRs first and the TURs come. In terms of like the best levels to stop at, I mean, you could really stop whenever you want in terms of like where you feel comfortable the max return of the boost are. I'm gonna be honest, I would personally just not even stop until you get to level 10. I kind of like that clean stoppage point of just getting to max level 10 and just moving on to the next one. But again, it's based on each percent going up by each level. So if you feel comfortable, like, let me give you an example. Like the Big Bad Boss's Link, you get, starting off as 80% obviously at level 1, but each level up, the HP restriction goes higher, so it takes, less HP, or basically like you can actually be at a higher HP level and still get the boost. So, if you feel like 90% is acceptable, then by all means you can stop at 90%, but I would personally go all the way at level 10 and then move on to the next one. The LR Int Cell and LR Physical Cell and Cell Juniors, certainly a good candidate. The Intelligence LR Cell is quite good as well, and I've seen a lot of people talk about that unit and how helpful it can be, especially on like the SBR settings and stuff like that. Guinea Force would actually be quite interesting since it is a free-to-play unit, and I haven't been able to test it myself, but I think that would be a very interesting way to go about, seeing how much of a difference the link skill levels make. I do see a lot of Gogetas and Vegetos. That's pretty obvious. Those were going to be the popular ones. Go Bros, that's nice to see that one. That's also a unit I've been working on personally, little by little. And I pretty much expected going into this, seeing that Blue Fusions and the Strength Cooler would be amongst them, along with like LR AGL Gohan and Cell. Mr. T, since ESBR is coming to global, probably Extreme Tech units since I do not have Raditz or Broly to carry me. That is actually a very, very good point because you do get, along with getting the boost, it's only going to help you clear certain difficult stages. So that is one way to look at it also, is instead of going with what's the most popular or what's the most powerful, start pinpointing which stages these types of boosts would benefit you the most, right? So the Extreme Tech of Extreme Super Battle Road, along with probably Super Agility, they are amongst the hardest one right now, from what I gauge in terms of like the Extreme Super Battle Road setting. So of course, when you get that extra boost with attack or defense or whatever the case is, that is certainly going to make quite a bit of a difference in terms of like, not just from a team building standpoint, but, defensive abilities and attack stats in terms of damage applied. So those are certainly things to consider as well. So I'm glad Mr. T mentioned that. That's actually quite good. A very good point. Looks like Janemba, I will say that is quite a phenomenal unit at max level links. That was also one of the first ones first sets of units that I plan on working on, and I did test them at max level links. And on a good rotation, this guy can hit like 5.1 million attack stats, along with being a very good defensive unit, and along with greatly reducing enemies' defense with the super attack, along with causing anywhere from 4.5 to 5.1 million attack stats. It's a very, very good unit, and again, does have the built-in dodge ability and all that. So yeah, a lot of good stuff. And I think I ran through most of it, but I'm certainly curious as to you guys watching right now. What are your units that you either plan on working on if you're on global first, and for JP players, let me know which units you first worked on in terms of grinding the link skill levels, because let's face it, at the end of the day, it's quite tedious, but it's definitely rewarding, because personally I have seen a lot of differences between how units perform at level 1 versus 10. So I'm quite curious as to see what you guys think, and certainly leave a comment and let me know. All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys later. All right, peace out.